Welcome once again to the J Lowe Artist YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me on this artistic adventure. Today we'll be working with ink, pen and ink. So have your kneaded eraser, a number 2 or an HB pencil handy, and any type of ink that you would like to use. But make sure that it's archival, that it's permanent, that it's black, and a smooth ink. And let's start doing some ink drawing. So I like to use the Pigma Micron pens. I'll show you the difference between these two pens. Pigma Microns are just black. They're archival. They're good pens. This is a design pen. It's got a thicker head, so you get a thicker, thinner line. So we'll use that one. But I'm going to start out with just my number 2 pencil. Let's just sketch on some things. Let's figure out what we want to do. So the first thing we want to do is just establish where we want the head to go. Try to get the shape of it. If somebody has a more square shaped face, start out with a rectangle. His is quite oval, and so I'd start out with a nice round oval. If you want to as well, you can figure out what you want to do. Maybe I'll have him sitting in a chair and a computer screen, maybe sitting at the computer, and maybe have a little dog next to him. I don't know why. I like to do little animals sometimes, so I just throw a little dog in there, but this is just an idea. I can always change it. This is just my pencil, and once you kind of get your idea, you got your composition things set, kind of how you want them to go, where you want them to go. Then you start adding some of the details. We know that right in the middle of the head about is where the eyes go. So I can kind of just do a little almond shape for the eye. Some people's eyes are a little different, but I just kind of start out that way. And a little nose. He's got a very round nose, so maybe I'll just start out with a little circle. That kind of gives me my little roundness of his nose. And the shape of the things is what's really important. So I'm trying to get the shape of the mouth, the shape of the nose, the shape of the eyes. Even the shape of the eyebrows can be very important. So I'm just going to throw these in. Try to get them as fast as you can. Ears. And I do want to get rid of my graphite as soon as I possibly can. The body, I'm not really concerned about it. It's kind of cartoony, and whatever I do down here is going to be okay. What I really am concerned about is trying to get a likeness, trying to get this person so they kind of look like that person. And so now I want to get kind of the shape of the face, the head. And some of this I can get with just the pen. You can start out with the number, a thinner pen or with the thicker pen. But I'm just going to start out with the thinner pen because that's kind of what I'm used to. And you just kind of start scribbling, just like we did when we did pen and ink. Dots and dashes, that's what's important. Some people, when they smile, their eyes wrinkle up a little bit closer, and his do, so that's maybe what I'm going to do is also, I have some standard things that I do, like with the eye. I'll start out with these little brackets. They're like parentheses. That represents the iris, or the colored part of the eye. And then the pupil is always this little C-shaped kind of Pac-Man shape that goes into it. And then I can starburst out away from that. depending on the eye and the eye color, you can add more or less line to it. But that's about it. That's about it, really. There's not a ton that goes into that. Sometimes the eyes are really the identifiable thing of the person. So I try to get those eyes just right. And that standard way of doing eyes always has been a good thing for me. Notice that I don't even draw the eyelid in at the bottom. It's like there's usually a lot of light across that, so I just leave it out. We talked about drawing wrinkles in people's faces, and instead of doing lines, just do these little hatch marks. So if there's wrinkles or anything, you just kind of hatch mark through it. Things like noses. I like to say everybody's nose is slightly different, and you just kind of try to pick out what you can. His nose is kind of round, so I've started out with a little circle, then I can do a couple little lines across it just to accentuate that roundness, and then that's it. Mouths are another thing. Just get the shape of the mouth, whatever that shape is. Get the shape of the mouth. Sometimes there's teeth that are important. And remember, instead of drawing every individual tooth, just do the edges. Sometimes you can see gums on people, and sometimes you can't. So it's kind of, you got to kind of look at those people and say, okay, what is it that I can see? There's lips, and that's about it for the mouth. Keep it simple. Here's his little mustache. I'm just going to do these little hatch lines across here. And oftentimes people's hair is a little darker or lighter in certain places. So you try to pick that out as much as you can. That's a distinguishing factor of people as well. People with beards. The other thing is your line can go in the direction that their hair flows, whether it's hair on their head or hair on their face. And again, I'm just scribbling in some little areas like where the ear is. Not everybody is the same, and so trying to get the shape of the things as close as I can, but not too worried about it. I like his little bow tie. I'm going to include that in there. And now from here, sometimes I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to be doing. And so you can just kind of wing it? Here's his keypad. Keep it simple. Get rid of all my graphite. And I'm going to use this thicker pen to kind of go back over some things, maybe smooth some things out. Should have been thinking a little ahead and put him in some Bermuda shorts or something. Hopefully you had a fun experience today and learned something maybe, and even tried something that you've never done before. And hopefully somewhere along the way it's made your life a little bit better, because art makes life better.